My Porsche journey started back in, I want to say, 1983, 84, somewhere in there, when I first saw a 928, and then a few years later, a friend of mine had one and offered me to drive it, and that's all I needed to have happen.
Tell us how your Porsche story began.
Do you know, it's when my very first Open I went to in 1973. We're up in Scotland at Troon, and I used to go past a Porsche garage, a very small one then, way back, and there was a 911 Targa, and I kept looking at that Targa probably every day, walked past it, and maybe I said to myself, you know, one day I can afford one of these. I think then it was at £12,000, something like that. And then, so always loved them, but then, you know, a 911 I deemed was too small. So the first Porsche I bought actually was the 928S in 1979, silver one. Loved that one, and at least I could fit the golf clubs in, so I could actually drive around and do the tour in that. And I think probably after that I got sponsored by somebody, so I had to drive a sponsored car around. And then I had a very good year in 1983. So somewhere in that early 83, I bought myself a 911 Turbo, red one, which is still going. She's still out there. And I love that car.
The first time that I could buy a Porsche was many years after they stopped making the 928. I had wanted one for many years, dreamt of it, but I was just not in that place. So around 2006 was when I first bought my first 911 Carrera, shift speed. I don't know if it's 4, it's probably 5, and custom ordered it. Just, it was everything I wanted, and I love that car. That was the first one. I sold it, and I regretted selling it. I still think about it. Where is it?
It's number one reason to aspire to a Porsche. I fit in them. Didn't fit in a Ferrari at all, or anything else. I actually didn't like anything else. You feel very claustrophobic. Anytime you sit in some mega supercar and they shut the door and you feel like you're in, you're like, wow. So I enjoyed the space of it, great visibility, that sort of thing. And of course, there's something about the engine. There really is. I mean, there's two things. It's the steering and the engine, of course. I mean, it's the feedback you get if you. I think one of the luxuries in life is if you've got feel, touch. You know, you love the feel of cashmere. I love the feel of a fly rod, because you love the feel of a handmade watch, a suit. And it's something about that. It's the feel of a Porsche. I mean, it's the feedback when you learn that, wow, that is what the tires are sending you, all this information. And you think, oh, wow, I'm connected to the road. Yeah, so that was it. I did have a big Ferrari, the Scaglietti, and then I traded that in for a 911 when they brought out the new engine. I'd read that, I think Jackie Stewart said this is probably the best engine in the world. And so I thought, I've got to have that. So the little white one, it was called Cupcake. My daughter Emma was pretty small then, so we named it Cupcake because she was so small. And you know, I love that. I mean, it's just it's the simplicity. You know, you can drive it down the shops at 25 miles an hour, and then when you give it a squeeze, it's an amazing car, absolutely amazing. So, and now we have quite a lot of selection. We have 2 Cayennes, and Lindsay has a 928S, which I bought her because her birthday's 928, and she has a Carrera, a yellow one called Buzzy Bee, and I had built from Paul Stevens in England, again back to the old shape. Loved the 80s air-cooled engine. So again, I bought a donor car for an 87 wide-body Carrera, and it's been absolutely hand-built from nose to tail, absolutely hand-built, and simply a driver's machine. Just a steering wheel, seats, and an engine. And it is phenomenal. That's currently sitting up in Scotland, which is a great place for it to be. I can air it out. You've got great visibility on the roads, no traffic, and so I kind of miss that. I'm hoping I have business interests actually in Scotland right now, So I can't wait to be able to get back and really be able to just tootle off, go off and have a little half an hour drive in an evening and just give it a little test. So I just love the feel. I mean, I think you're fortunate if you've got the feel and touch, and you learn to feel the balance of that car. There's nothing like them.
Final question, but your new life in Montana, the kind of practicality is now also a
Yeah.
factor as well, isn't it?
Yeah, practicality. Yeah, is important. That's why I converted my Cayenne to. We got bigger suspension, bigger tires, so we can go. Probably going to get snow. We have snow probably for at least 4 or 5 months of the year. So slippery roads. Obviously, there's gravel. We live on gravel roads as well at the farm, so that's all good fun to have a little slide. And I can't wait to see and feel what the turbo is like when it comes back finished. That's going to be quite a fantastic machine.
If someone were to come to me, and they have, and say, I've seen you drive lots of cars, which I really want to get a nice sports car, high performance sports car. Definitely Porsche. You can take it to the grocery store, you can take it in the rain, you can take it anywhere. It doesn't stand out as being something so unusual that, you drive some of these really ultra well-known Lambos and Ferraris. You can't drive down the freeway without a horde of people coming around you or blend in a parking lot. Because for your everyday life, you want to have that experience, but you don't want to make a spectacle. And I think Porsche allows you to be, you can enjoy it any way you want without restriction. The cost of a Porsche is reasonable for the quality of the car. It's more than reasonable. It's exceptional. So realistically, a lot of people can afford a Porsche. They offer so many models now. Every time I turn around, there's a different number Porsche, and you're like, oh, that one's great. And they're classic. Their designs pretty much stay within a window that you always know when you see one, and you definitely know when you hear a Porsche. I could be 10 miles away, hear an engine coming, and I can tell the difference. Porsche has a unique sound that if you love the car, you love the sound.
She's now collectively as a couple.
Yeah, little did I know when I met Linz that she also shared Porsches, loved them, what have you. And then she told me the story about, I drove a 928, and that's her birthday, and never bought one, and regretted that. So I very quickly managed to find one for her birthday. I found a really great, what was it, 1989. So what's that, 40 years old now. We've only 40,000 miles, absolutely beautiful, lovely red one, beautiful shape, beautiful condition. And so how lovely is that? I bought that for her birthday, how about that? So, and I only just fit in it, which is very annoying because it has a sunroof. So I have to find some way to get squeezing in it. But I love it. I had, it's again, there's something about the classics. If you enjoy the shape and the feel of them, and it's a beautiful car. And she loves the 911 as well, always talks about that. It's the most agile car you're ever going to have. That's the most beauty of it. Anytime you give it a little squeeze, turn in and out, it's right there. That's what we love about them.
Also understand there was one occasion when Lindsay went to buy a new car, and while she was out.
Oh dear, yeah. So there was, of course, another occasion when she wanted to swap. That was when she found Buzzy Bee, the yellow 911, and while she was busy doing a test drive, I did actually spot a GT3. So I thought, that's not fair. So I did buy that one. I managed to do a good swap, good trade. And yeah, I traded Cupcake in for that, another white one. And that was quite something for the roads. That was too much for the roads. And that's really a car you've got to get to enjoy on the track, because, it revs at 9,000 revs. So when you floor it, you can't take that on the road, to be honest, to be sensible. And I never had the chance to really get it. So once I learnt once I saw the rally car, which really made sense, when I knew we were heading to Montana, gravel roads everywhere, then I can't wait to get that built. When that gets delivered, that's going to be a serious boy's toy. It's going to be really, really great fun.